What is going on, family? My brothers and sisters in the Warning Army. I hope everybody has had a great week this week. Welcome back to another Women Who Rock Wednesday, always featuring the Warning each and every Wednesday. If you're new to the channel, we do this each and every Wednesday. And if you have not heard yet, I've been talking a lot about this on the live stream, that the idea, and we've talked about the idea of overall Women Who Rock, and that is not just secluded to the idea of rock music. It is more of like just really a general statement of all women who are badass. So female leads that are badass, whether they're just an individual artist or a part of a band, group, whatever you want to call it. So just wanted to throw that out there for everybody so everybody was aware and everybody was on the same page. We want to make sure we touch base with all the fan groups and the Warning Army. You guys have always held me down since day one, so I definitely appreciate you guys for all the love and support. Let's go ahead and check out River Soul live from the Dakota Bar, because it has been something I don't think I've heard this song yet. It might have been one of the ones they played in the TED Talk, but I'm not 100% sure about it. I know a lot of people talked about it in the TED Talk videos, but I'm not sure if this one was actually played or not. But I have not checked out anything from the Dakota Bar. I've heard a lot about it from a lot of you guys, but I thought it was time to go ahead and check it out because I had a hard time figuring out what to do today and where I wanted to go. Did I really want to start some sort of series? And I didn't really want to kind of go that way. And I didn't really give you guys but the one Alanis Morissette video. So I thought it was time to get into another Warning song, and one that I don't think I have heard yet or I'm not too familiar. So let's go ahead and check it out.
Drown yourself in the river, bring along the other sinners, burn down with the flame.
Okay, so yeah, this is I've definitely heard this one before, because now it's all coming back to me. That riff in the beginning is super sick. I really like it. I really like the transition, the way that like the intro goes into that riff is really, really sick. It has like a different sound than the way that they orchestrated "Keep Me Fed," and I know we're still on that, guys, and we're still talking about it. So it's like I almost am afraid to bring it up, because I feel like you know, there's moments and times where, like, you know, we grow and we learn things and we adapt and we evolve and our perspective changes. And I'm really starting to understand now what you guys are saying about with the overall like just difference in sounds and how they have evolved each album, which, like I said, there's a lot of you out there have had so many great comments on this too, where like they really have just kind of evolved through each album and each writing process. But just the way that they wrote these kind of songs back then were just a lot different. And I don't want to say that they were better, but if your taste is more leaning towards that, then I can see why you really don't like the stuff that's new. I think that people have who have a little bit more of an open taste or a little bit more of a vast taste is probably are the ones who kind of liked all of the Warning catalog versus so much of the new stuff. Because I feel like we're kind of towing the line of getting into the overall purist conversation when it comes to this at the same time, where this kind of reminds me of like a whole different kind of sound, a whole different kind of like writing style, and a whole different kind of version of the Warning, which, like I said, if this is kind of the stuff that you predominantly only listen to, I can see why the new stuff bothers you. I do. And I can say that now, where I feel like I understand a little bit better, more. I'm thinking about it too much and more of my own perspectives, where I like both styles so much, so I don't notice the change or swift this much, or the shift this much, if you will. But somebody did attack me for saying that I was basically too much of a stan of the Warning Army. So I feel like I've definitely earned a stripe for sure. And the fact that people were saying that I was too diehard for saying that, like, I appreciate artists that write their own stuff. And they're like, well, if you looked at everything credited on the album is to 15, 20, 30 other people, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And you're right. But I do also understand that if somebody's in the room with you and somebody is just there and somebody said, hey, that sounds great, what if you saying it a little higher? They get credit now. So it's really how much their hands are in the meal that's being made, but everybody gets that piece and gets a little credit. It's how much of that credit. So I do understand both sides of that spectrum. So it's not that I think that the warning shouldn't write with people. I think that at the same time. I feel like I'm a little off topic, but coming back to this overall song and performance, I think that Ale, like, just, she always has sick bass lines. And I feel like you guys were kind of raking me over the coals a little bit about not talking enough about how great of a job she did in the Alanis Morissette cover, which she did actually do a great job. The thing that just stood out to me in that one was like just how focused and like just like calm she was, because Anna always is, but like when she was sitting down, there was no like Ale strut moves and all that kinds of stuff that she normally does. But like Danny's up there still kind of doing the same Danny thing. And again, I think that people were saying this because I don't think I emphasized enough how much like that song really kind of was like made for Danny to sing it, yo. Like, it hit all the covers. It hit everything. It hit all the things that I wanted it to be. So, but now I'm not even talking about the song that we're watching right now. So I'm so sorry, guys. I got to focus on this. The lyrical content in this one, just again, the smack in the face of like, God, like you guys are just so like deep with the lyrics that you guys write and like just the perspective that you guys write. It's almost like mom and dad are writing it and giving it to you, which I know that's not the case, but it's like, it almost feels that way where it's like, did mom and dad help you write this? But I know so much now that like behind the scenes, it's just like, they were just always born this artistic. And like they always, you could tell like that's why they are the way they are, is because they grew up in an environment of like, this is what we are going to be. This is what we are going to do. Much I feel like our friends with Freeze the Fall, where they are just born to do this and they're only going to get better. Same thing with The Warning. They have only gotten better. And you could tell from a very, very early age with The Warning that this was what was going to happen. It's like, there's not that many people that have the ability to write like the way that they have, especially like at such a young age. And I think that their writing is only going to get better. And I think that that again, they have taken those steps with every album to get that much better with their writing. Like, they're playing with new sounds, they're playing with new styles. They are recently signed to a record label, so they're doing all that kinds of stuff as well, which makes me also think, guys, as another complete side note quest here is, what is y'all's thoughts? What is the Warning Army's thoughts on all the stuff that she's doing with Maggie Lindemann? Because I feel like that is not the same kind of swag and same kind of overall artist that what you guys see in The Warning and love about The Warning. I don't necessarily think that that is what her artistry is similar to. Let's just put it that way. So I'm curious of what the Warning Army's thoughts of all the collaboration with Maggie Lindemann is. So are they really still in control of everything they're doing? Or is this more of a label push? I'm just curious. I'm curious because I support The Warning and whatever The Warning are going to do. I don't mind if they're hanging out with artists that they don't even potentially like, whatever that they're, labels making them do. Or maybe they really like her. Maybe they like her a lot. I don't know. I'm not saying anything negative about her or positive about her one way or the other. I'm just observing that the fan bases and the idea of the overall artists are completely different from what you guys seem to really adore and appreciate in the overall Warning. I feel like I've talked enough, and you probably have tuned out by now, and you're probably off this shit. You're probably another guy who's leaving a comment like, I can't stand you, Johnny. And that's awesome. I love it. We're going to make a t-shirt with all those negative comments that you guys leave. Not you guys, because you're not here anymore if you're leaving negative comments for sure. But we're gonna make a T-shirt with all those negative comments, and eventually, and we're gonna definitely sell that as some merch. I pinned it in my last video because some dude was just like, "I can't stand you," and I was like, "Cool, bro. Like, you know, I'm glad you got that off your chest. That's awesome. You know, I appreciate the view. I appreciate the view, and I appreciate the comment because it did boost me just a little bit to somebody else who might actually like the video. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to entertain people. We're not trying to piss people off. I'm not trying to piss nobody off. I like to provide good, entertaining content to people, and I hope they like it. I hope they like it, but who knows? Who knows? Let's get back to the song.
Understands the way I feel. I cannot be alone in this. Oh, drown yourself in the river. Bring along the other sinners. Burn down with the flame. The waves take control. Don't be afraid of what's to come. Don't go with the flow of the river soul.
Yeah, see, I don't know why I didn't know this song. I'm like, yeah, I do know it. I know it now.
I'm hearing my inner voice.
I do have to say, I like this one a lot better than the TED version. The TED version just makes me sad because it's like everybody's sitting down and everybody's just kind of like, oh, there's a band playing in front of us. Like, oh, that's so fantastic and amusing. These young ladies are so fantastic and they are just extraordinary, really. Extraordinary. Is it over yet, though? Because the music's a bit loud for my taste.
Round in my mind it goes, telling me to forgive myself for the moments wasted or spent. Now I have learned from my painful past not to worry about my mastermind. All the lies I'll leave behind.
See, people sing it. People know the song. People into it. That's what it means. I don't think that like I would imagine that this was like not the peak of like Pal's like height. I would imagine because you know there's still the video said earlier in the description how old they were. I forget how it was. I want to say she was 15, so I would imagine that she was still growing a little bit. But she just looks like so small behind the kit. Like her legs are all like stretched out, and like she looks like you know like she's all like sprawled out, and like now she doesn't look like that. She's a little bit more like caved in, and like she's still small behind the kit, and she's obviously a very petite person. But at the same time, like she looks even smaller here, where it's just like a little kid on like the big kit. And again, all the energy. But I won't bring up how this doesn't happen anymore because it gets me in trouble when I say that. But I loved this time frame of Pal's playing in style. Yes, this time frame. Right.
Afraid of what's to come. Don't go with the flow. I can see the light in your eyes as your lies took over your mind. I know you're confused, but your ways never work for us. So now you must choose to win or lose. I can see the light in your eyes as your lies took over your mind. I know you're wrong,
always with the gracias at the end. Always. Gotta show the respect, man. Gotta show the respect for the crowd and the love. Danny, always the great front woman that she is. One of the things that I like the most about the warning is like the random like tempo changes. I feel like they do a lot of good things in two different aspects and points that I wanted to bring up when it came to this song. Was one, they have like the tempo change where I feel like they fit like a little idea of a song within songs a lot of times. So like within the overall concept of a song, they'll kind of have like one little measure or a couple measures where it sounds kind of completely different and offbeat. Very specifically, like our one of my favorites, like the song "Survive," right? Like it's got an overall kind of vibe to it, but it has so many different like overall tempo changes and just different feelings within those little moments, like kind of like songs within the song again. So that's one of the things that I really loved about this song a lot too. Like I said, the lyrical content overall is just going to be good for me. I've always appreciated the Warnings lyrics, and they've never really let me down. Typically in that aspect. Somebody brought up about the greedy little fucker thing in their album, and there's like a hit or miss feeling about people who love that line or not. And I will tell you that is the one line of the record that I've been teasing people for a while. That was the only thing I would change about that record was I hate the greedy little fucker line. As much as it fits the record, and as much as it is like a good line for what I think the representation of the overall Warning writing has always been, and all of those kind of things, when you think about all that, I'm like, I don't hate the way that was incorporated as like their first like F-bomb that they dropped in their lyrics, right? But at the same time, I don't want to really like say too much of my honest opinion because I feel like you guys are going to crucify me. But to me, it almost comes across as a little too juvenile, I think, for what their writing style is. I don't, but that's the thing. It's like I've always been told, like, you know, if you're going to give your opinion, give a better version of or a better example or something that, like, you know, that you think that might be better. I don't know what would be better than greedy little fucker. I just don't particularly love it. To me, I just don't like it when she says it. It's just the fact that I'm hearing her say it. Because I don't care. Like really, it's such the imagination. I do not care what at all about swearing. If anything, I swear too much. But I'll never say that I swear too much. Like, you know, I gotta probably just turn it down a little bit every once in a while. But that is the one line that I did not particularly appreciate on the album. Like I said, I'm like, I would have changed that, but I don't know what I would have said in the room to get my writer credit. You know. Maybe you should say this instead. Man, I would get a little writing credit. Hey, Johnny Foxtrot, you know, on a Warning song. That'd be cool. You know what I mean? Then I would never be able to say like anything negative about them at all if I was like credited on something that they did. You know, even if they acknowledged me, I think I probably would be able to like never say a bad word about them again. That's the way, I guess the way I kind of look at it is like if they even acknowledged me, I think I probably would be, you know, I would be such a fanboy. I think about that because I feel like they're too far away from my world for them to ever acknowledge poor little Johnny Foxtrot. But that's not important. The other point that I wanted to make up, the second point of what the Warning did really great in this one was that they also do in every other song that they do this and practice this in was because they have two singers, the way that they put like Pal's vocals or Ale's vocals saying different things on top of what Danny's singing, and it's like repetitive. I forget what the hell the original terminology or the musicality, song terminology, musicology, whatever the fuck it's called for that particular thing. But you guys don't want to talk about it. They did it right here at the end, right after the tempo change. They did the whole like Danny singing and then we're singing a different thing over top of it. Like, you know, and you row your boat and kind of shit, right? But we're not saying the same things. We're saying two different things. I love it when artists do that. I love it. I absolutely love it. And when it's done properly. And the Warning nail it, I think, every time. I almost love it when it's done improperly. You know what I mean? That's how much I do love it, is even when it's a little cringy, I still fuck with it, man. I love it. But the Warning always do it well. You know what I mean? It's hard when they put so much time and effort into the overall thought process of like writing the lyrics. They never like just say that it's good enough. Like they come back the next day and like, we could do that note better. We could do that song better, whatever. Like you can see that they want to make sure that they put the perfect little bow on it when they're going to like let it go. and then they know they're not going to touch it no more. And you can just tell that they put that time and effort into it. And so that's why I can't really hate when they're crediting other writers and other people that are around them, because I feel like I still trust and know that I feel like they are involved with what they do. And nobody is saying and telling them that you're going to do it this way, and they're over here being like, okay, fine, we'll do it your way. I don't think we're doing it anybody's your way. I think it's more the warning with some help, if that makes any sense. The Warning Army, I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you have not joined the Foxtrot family, there's always room for you. I will leave all the links to my cool stuff in the description, whatever the hell is down there. Please sign up for those things. I hang out a lot in the Discord, and I hang out a lot in the Patreon. Please sign up for those 2 different things. We got the Twitch coming soon. If you're into that kind of like kick stuff and all that kinds of what's not, we're getting that coming real soon. Doing a lot of live streaming. We are going to have the live stream Women Who Rock tonight, so make sure you look it up for that. We are going to be checking out a little bit of an unorthodox rock tonight. Not but Women Who Rock, excuse me. A little bit unorthodox for what we have done before. So I'm very excited about it. Those who've been on the last couple of live streams are already aware of kind of some of the stuff we're going to get into, but I am really excited for tonight's live stream, so I hope to see you there. And again, if you have not joined the Foxtrot family, there's always room for you. Until next time, I appreciate you for watching.